Greetings, everybody. How's it going? Promethean hails. Welcome to Dragonsynth Adventures, a journey through realms both perilous and melodic. I am your guide through this strange multiverse where the echoes of forgotten lands mingle with the dark hum of Dragonsynth. Here we weave tales from misty ruins and ancient keeps, where heroes wield swords against shadowy horrors, and magic users carve reality with words of power. The adventures of old spoke of wild lands and lost treasures. Today, we explore those same realms through sound and story. If you're new to the journey, fear not. Like any good dungeon master, I'm here to reveal the map as we go, one hex at a time. For those who have traveled these paths before, welcome back to the campaign. Your stories are part of this legend. So grab your lanterns, unsheath your blades, and prepare your spells. The dungeon is deep, the night is long, and the music, well, the music is magic. Let's begin the adventure. All right, how's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. I rolled in with 1 minute to spare. Just came in the room, didn't have time to set up the green screen or anything. All right, how's everybody doing? I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. The Mrs. Fornull and I went out to grab some food. But we made it. We made it in time. I see No White Guilt is here. Good to see you, brother. Awesome. Good to see you. And Roused Rose is here. My sweeties. Well fed. Yes. That's right. Hails, Justin McDaniel. Good to see you. Hey, that's a cool image right there. That's from the animation that was the art style by Frank Frazetta called Fire and Ice. I really love that animation. It is pretty cool. In fact, the video game I was making for a while there, I think a lot of it was based on that movie. Unofficially. Yes, the colors. I kind of pump up the colors a little bit. I up the saturation just to make these pop even more. Not too much, but I do. I put the contrast up and the saturation just a hair. So hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. Everyone had a good Monday. Feeling good. Feeling positive. Ready to take on the world. Do you guys know what a calorie is? I'm sure you do colloquially, but do you actually know what it is a measurement of? In 1819, between 1819 and 1824, Nicholas Clement introduced concept in lectures on heat engines that were given in Paris. The calorie was already defined in Bercherel's 1845 Dictionnaire National. In 1863, the word entered the English language through translation of Gounod's popular French physics text, which defined a calorie as the heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water from 0 to 1 Celsius. Later they changed it, they distinguished between a gram and a kilogram calories, and Raymond used the kcal, kilogram calories, in a discussion of energy needs in 1894 in a medical physiology text. The capitalized calorie, as used to indicate 1 kilocalorie on U.S. food labels, derives from Atwater's 1887 article on food energy in Century Magazine and Farmer's Bulletin 23 in 1894. Formal recognition began in 1896, when the G-calorie was defined as a secondary unit of energy in the CMG's measurement system. The thermal calorie was not fully defined until the 20th century, by which time the nutritional calorie was embedded in U.S. popular culture and nutritional policy. So it is how much heat, and literally has nothing to do with how our bodies process food. We don't burn anything. The energy stored in food is converted through essentially through chemistry, from bacteria and the way our cells work. There's no burning, no calories. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. Anyone know what that is? Let's see who's here. I was just filling in. There wasn't anyone in the chat. Well, there was. Not that Jason and Mrs. Fornull and Justin are nobodies. Gondorian Cowboy is here. Writing howdy. Howdy, Gondorian Cowboy. Budgie Burger's here. Ivan the Horrible is here. Azimuth Clark 462 is here. Good to see you guys. JK160's here. Hello. Cool Papa J Magic. Hey guys, listen in, but still busy. Going to lurk for a bit. Alright, well, you be in lurk mode. Herman the Tosser is here. Writing, tagging No White Guilt, writing Go Free. Got the book in my car and read from time to time. Cool. Jason is loving the art in the beginning here. Thank you. I'm glad you like the art. I missed Yez tonight. I'll have to go back and play that later. I was, like I said, when I started, I was out. I just barely made it home in time. And greetings, Yez. Good to see you, sister. Evil Authors here. Great to see you. Okay, so we'll go a little bit longer on this nutritional thing. I know it's not very dungeon synthy. And then we'll probably just listen to a lot of music. Let's kick back. So replacing the concept of calories with a more comprehensive and detailed metric for measuring dietary energy intake might involve combining multiple components that reflect not just the energy content, but also how efficiently that energy is utilized by the body. Here are 3 components. Jason's loving the images. Yes, the fantasy slideshow has some really good stuff in it. Some beautiful babes and muscular, awesome, heroic men with the foes underfoot, blood. Yes. Here are the 3 components that could be combined to provide a more nuanced understanding of dietary energy. Are you ready? ATP yield. ATP yield from macronutrients. Okay, direct energy utilization. This component would estimate. This is my. I was trying to work out what would be the replacement for calories on a food label. Like, what's going to be a more relevant, more useful metrics? And so it would be 3 components. It would be the effective nutritional energy, the ENE. And it would be 3 measurements. It would be the ATP yield. And so what is that? That estimates the amount of ATP that can be generated from the metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins in food. Different macronutrients yield different amounts of ATP, and this measure would reflect the actual usable energy at the cellular level. ATP. Efficiency of metabolism. This metric would take into account the metabolic pathways and the efficiency of ATP production for each macronutrient, providing a more precise measure of energy that the body can use. Then we have the thermic effect of food, the TEF. Energy expenditure for digestion. The thermic effect of food refers to the amount of energy expended by the body to digest, absorb, and metabolize nutrients. Different types of food have varying thermic effect of food, with proteins generally having a higher TEF than carbohydrates and fats. The impact on net energy, including TEF, would give a more accurate representation of the net energy available from food after accounting for the energy used in processing it. And then finally, we have the nutrient density and bioavailability. Bioavailability is a really important one. See, it's weird what they chose to put on labels to me. Really just abstract, some of it that doesn't matter. So the quality of nutrients, this component would assess the density of essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids in the food. Foods with higher nutrient density provide more essential nutrients per unit of energy. And then the other component of that part is the bioavailability. This is really important when you're comparing a plant-based diet to a meat or animal-based diet. Bioavailability, it measures how efficiently nutrients are absorbed and utilized by the body. Factors like the food matrix, preparation methods, and individual health can affect bioavailability. Including this component would ensure that the energy metric reflects not just quantity, but also the quality and the utility of the nutrients provided. A lot of times in our food, they're giving us these metrics of things our body can't even get. Sure, it may have whatever, 100 grams of vitamin C or whatever. Guess what? Only 2 grams of it is bioavailable. And that's not even discussed or taught in nutrition. And it's fairly common that the bioavailability of the different nutrients it's never 100%. So yeah, that'd be, I think, important. So you combine those, and we would call this the effective nutritional energy, the ENE. So the ENE would be the ATP yield. Adjust for TEF, that's like how much energy does it take to process it, and then factor in the nutrient quality. And so that's my proposal, is that we could display an ENE score alongside traditional information, and people would pick that up. No one knew what calories was when they were kids, and it doesn't even matter really, but it's like a very rough estimate, but people learn how to use that. So there you go. Boom, roasted. Would a cheesecake have very high number for one or more of these categories? Well, cheesecake is going to be primarily carbohydrates. So that's just going to spike your blood glucose levels. It's also going to tell your body, because when you're getting your energy from carbs, you're telling your body to store fat. Essentially, you can look it up. Eating carbs is telling your body to store the energy as fat cells. And then when you stop eating carbs, it takes a while, but it transitions over. That's what they'll call like ketosis or something. And then you're burning then you're using fat. You're just using fat for energy. So to me, there's no nutrition in a cheesecake. If there is, it's so negligible as to be, you might as well just be eating spoonfuls of sugar. So it would probably have a very low ENE because there's no nutrients. Not enough to matter compared to the glucose, the blood glucose spike, which is bad. You don't want your blood glucose levels up, over 150 or whatever. And you eat a cheesecake, it's going to be in the 200s, 300s. And that does damage to your cells. All right. I'm done talking about that. I love cheesecake, by the way. I had one last week. Knowing full well the damage, went out with Mrs. Fornull, had some Louisiana-style Cajun chicken wings. They're really spicy. They're really good. Super decadent, like breaded. And then I think I got tacos or something. And what'd she get? Can't remember what she got. It was good. Boss Klutwick wrote, "That's why huge amounts of beer is bad." That's true. Beer is just all carbs, especially the good stuff, air quotes, like a Sierra Nevada or something really with bite to it. I like Sierra Nevada personally. They got like 320 grams of carbs for one beer. Crazy. Oh yeah, that dragon picture was awesome. How you see the one and then you see that giant one, how big it must be, because it's further in the background, like way in the background, coming through the clouds. It just must be a gargantuan. There's Fawford in the Grey Mouser. Oh, that's right. Roused Rose had the fish and chips. She wanted the pork belly, but they were out of it. Yeah, sugar can mess up. Yeah, it mess up all kinds of your chemistry. I'm splurging less and less now, so it's really, it was extremely hard in the beginning. I was so addicted to sugar, and I would go a week and then binge on the weekend. Like get an eclair or something, just get 3 eclairs. It's something super crazy. And then always afterwards I'd regret it, because and I would get kind of scared because I'd get these cramps in my feet, like a Charlie horse in my foot, that's so painful. I mean, it feels like my muscles are just gonna rip off the tendons. It's so painful. And then I think, like, well, what if it's doing that to my feet? Like, God, I hope it doesn't make my heart do that. That would be scary. And it's just so painful. And I think I did that for months, and finally I hate that pain in my foot, and I just started weaning off of it. Now I don't do it as much, so it's pretty nice. Oh yeah, that one, I think that was He-Man. I've got a few cool He-Man art pieces where it's done more serious looking, not so cartoony, and I love those. Like Dark He-Man. Oh, Basil Hayden, hell yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, he is talking about she doesn't drink much, but occasionally a Basil Hayden. Yeah, I don't. Not like I used to. I used to drink a lot. Or more. I'd probably drink 3 beers a night, every night for years. Got a huge gut, and yeah, blood sugar levels were all screwed up. But I had my first beer in probably 8 months tonight. I had 1 beer. I decided, okay, I want to have 1 beer, because they serve them in these schooners. They get these schooners all chilled, like icy cold, and then they pour the beer in it, and so the beer has got like icicles in it. At this one place we went to, and so we hadn't been there in a long time, like maybe years, and And I hadn't had a beer in so long, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get one. I'm only going to get one. And I only got one, and that was it, so. And then I bought a 24 pack on the way home. No, I'm just kidding. A schooner? I'll show you a picture. Hold on. If you're near a screen, I will show you what I'm talking about, because there's different things they call a schooner. You might know it as a vintage heavy glass schooner. Here we go. I'm gonna do it on the screen here. One of these things. So they freeze those. You freeze them. And they're so thick that when you pour the beer in, it's got icicles or milk. You know, if you're going for an Oreos or chocolate cookie dipping session, pour some milk in one of those bad boys, and the milk's got the ice crystals in it. Totally decadent. All right. Enough of that. Yeah, the schooner is that shape. There's several places that serve a schooner, and it's that. The mug's a mug here. At least in the USA, a mug is a mug. And they chill the mugs. But if places that have schooners, they always look like one of those. At least in California. California. Skeleton Army. So, let's see. Oh, I saw that, and I don't know, I didn't dig too far into it. Maybe you guys know, but I saw that some federal judge reversed a bunch of those activist judges' blockades of Trump's executive orders, some of them. I didn't read the whole list to know exactly what, but it looks like they were overruled. They basically didn't have standing, couldn't prove that Trump's executive orders were violating the law in any way, so I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, Budgie Burger. I'll see what I can do. Okay, I'm gonna look for something real quick. Jason wrote Fornull. Oh, really? I haven't had a chance to look. You're talking about the federal ruling on the EOs and stuff. Yeah. Not all of them, if that's what you're talking about, were, brushed away, but yeah, some of them. Herod Serapio, I'm pretty sure modern whites would make dragon killing illegal. Well, I mean, there could be an upside to that if we could train them to be our mounts. That'd be awesome. Like in Elric, the Elric books, the Melnibonians, they were kind of like the ultimate white people, but they made them really cruel and messed up. Or Aragon, too, I guess, had that. That'd be awesome. The dragons are our companions. But the bad dragons, for sure, we gotta put them out of their misery. Put them out of our misery. How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, I liked the first one. I thought the first one was fairly positive. It didn't have too many MPs, if any. I remember it was pretty clean. But then the later ones, I think they got crappy. That's true, Yiz. The Elric story shows what can happen to whites if we let ourselves fall to darkness. That is true. But because Moorcock is such a feminist, I think he's just portraying our nature. He's exaggerating it. And making Elric be the male feminist who rejects it and just is a self-hating white, essentially, who's trying to not do things the way his terrible ancestors did. It's all the whole Elric book, in my mind, the motivation is righting the wrongs of the past, which just seems like a giant MP. But at the same time, if you gloss over that possibility, if you don't know Moorcock's a raging liberal feminist, anti-white, well then they're super cool, actually, because the writing itself is amazing. Kind of like Stephen King. You guys might hate Stephen King, and I don't like the guy as a person, but his writing, before I learned, he hated me for being white, and his views are so disgusting. I enjoyed his writing. I know a lot of people hate his writing, but there's something to good writing. It's like good food versus a McDonald's hamburger, a gourmet hamburger. When you get the good writing, it just draws you in, and you just can't wait to get back to it in that world. Us poison their work, yep. Oh yeah, comics, TV, tabletop role-playing games, video game, everything, sadly. Oh, check out this lady. She looks cool. She's got this almost like a bill hook, but kind of a reverse bill hook staff, and she's got these scrolls in very ornate, well-protected scroll cases, possibly spells written, ready to be cast, or maybe she's collected those and she's going to learn those spells someday. She's just not high enough level to to figure it out. Or she's just killed an evil wizard and now she's looting all his awesome scrolls. That thing's straight out of D&D. That's a Icorn, or wait, what's it called? A Actaeon? Oh no, that's the elk centaur. Oh, I don't know what that is. Never mind. No, it could be the Actaeon. Because they go around on 2 feet sometimes, so. That. Yeah, she's like, I don't need no horse. I got this prehistoric cave bear as my mount. He's gonna take a big bite out of your horse. Yeah, I bet she would feel badass walking around on that thing. Coming into town. She comes into town and like ties up her bear out in front of the tavern or something, and people are just going, oh crap. She just barely lashes it around a few times. Can easily get away. Yes. Ivan was in that with me there, riding the bear into battle. Oh, this artist is great. This guy, I can't think of his name. The famous artist, he creates all kinds of really magical images. Kind of fairy tale, fantasy, not necessarily dark, almost whimsical, but still has this earthy kind of thing going on. Meh says, wolves are kind of an issue. Yeah, wolves are awesome. Is a cave bear a standard D&D monster? I think I remember. Yeah, it is. Well, and it depends on what edition. But all the editions have bears. And in the edition I play, which is from the late 80s, early 90s, it's still first edition, but it's the BECME D&D. They have a black bear, a grizzly bear, a polar bear, and a cave bear. And so the cave bear is the biggest one. The cave, it says, these enormous bears stand about 15 feet tall. They do not see well at all, but hunt very well by scent. If hungry, they will follow a track of blood until they have eaten. They prefer a diet of fresh-killed red meat and live in caves, mostly in prehistoric environments or very distant mountain areas where human civilization is not penetrated. So they're, unlike most bears who are omnivores, I think, the cave bear is 100% carnivore. That's how it got so big. That is, I think that's from the Dragon Riders of Pern books, which I never read. I know it's like everyone has read it. I never read them. Someday when I grow up, I'll read it. Are streams she-like ships, or are they masculine like spoons? Just kidding, says I. Are streams she-like ships, or are they masculine like spoons? I don't know. I don't know that I understand the question. Yes, the dire animals. They are the big ones. Like the dire wolves. Which the humanoids use for mounts. Well, goblins will ride a wolf. I think an orc could probably ride a dire wolf. I don't know, maybe they're too big for a dire wolf. Can't remember, but I want to say they can. A dire cow. Yes. I would eat a dire cow hamburger. The aurochs. Now that is, it's like a faded memory what the aurochs are. Okay, they're a bovine. Right, okay. And so Meh wrote, the descendants of the aurochs still walk around in Poland. Well, I don't know if it's a bovine. I don't know how they could be in a political party, but maybe you meant that World War II era or something. Gnomes would ride the scratchers to battle. What are scratchers? The heck's a scratcher? A cat? Sorry, Fornull, I meant in German. Live streams are typically masculine. The word live stream follows the common pattern where loan words ending in stream take the masculine gender, der. Oh, okay. I got ya. So you meant a live stream, or did you mean a stream of water? Is a stream of water masculine or feminine in German? A cat, okay. A scratcher. So the gnomes could ride the cats? Maybe a big cat. Or a little gnome. I think of gnomes as being about 1.5 feet tall. Not that I think about it all the time, but if I just conjure it up in my mind, the idea That's how big they are to me. That might be heavy, but maybe not. Ivan thinks of gnomes as garden gnome size. There you go. There is a standard size for your traditional garden gnome. Although I prefer the lawn jockey. I think it's way more classy. Just kidding. Just kidding. We have these little gnome figurines. They go in the plants. You put them like in your potted plants. We have some of those. Those are cool. I'd eat an Auroch burger, no problem. Me too. When gnome means gnome. Good one. I totally talked through it. I guess I missed my my modular synth song. Here, we'll put a what's his name? Kenwood or something Wood. What's his name? Kirkwood. We'll play a Kirkwood song. How about Hawksmoor in the Black Heart of Merry Woolnoth, or Where the Plague Dogs Run? No. Worm Tongue. That one sounds kind of cool. Welcome back, Yiz. She's nom 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 nom. Nominate. I nominate you Queen of Nom Nom. Time Bandits. Just look, I swear they're white erasing our gnomes, mate. Time Bandits. That was a good one. I like Time Bandits. I like Brazil too. Thought that one was pretty good. Terry Gilliam. Oh, that sounds good, yes. That's like what I eat a lot. Ground beef with a little seasoning. Have you ever seen a black gnome? I can't say that I have. The ones I usually see are white. Oh, that's good, yes. Same here. That's good. Good fuel. Meat and eggs. And the occasional 3-pack of eclairs from Vaughn's. No. Just kidding. Or am I? Oh, okay. Ground beef dish that is a bit spicy called larb. Man, I used to love the spicy food and the hot chili peppers and all that, and now I don't know, my intestines just say F you. So I don't eat it anymore. But I sure love the experience of eating hot peppers and super spicy food, but I can't do it. The more the better, yeah. Well, that's a great thing about eating meat and eggs. If you can, you can eat as much as you want. You won't get fat. You will not get fat if you're just eating meat and eggs to your full. Guarantee it 100%. And if you're fat, you'll lose weight. I eat way more now than I used to. I used to think I was like, I don't know. My whole concept of what meals were and how much I should eat were so wrong. Because I would eat what I thought was a lot, be full, and then not think about the fact that I'm snacking every 30 minutes for the next 5 hours. Until the next meal comes around. And eating 3 meals a day. And now it's like I eat a huge meal around 10 or 11. I eat a lot. And then for dinner and like I could easily put down, 3 double patty Angus burgers, no problem. And a burrito or something. I mean, I can eat a lot now because now my brain knows, like, okay, just load up and then I'm not going to be hungry until later. And then if I eat a lot, I'm not hungry till the next day. It's weird. Oh, cool, JK160. I'm glad he enjoyed the visuals. All the visuals tonight are going to be fantasy. And I'm keeping it Promethean. I'm not raging about anything on the mic tonight. So it'll be family friendly. My favorite story of the snow, if you're talking about fantasy stories that have a setting of the snow, probably Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, Fritz Lieber, where they have to climb the Fafhrd, the barbarian. He's from the snow, and they have to climb this mountain that his dad died climbing. He comes back later, like he leaves his people, and then he comes back, and they try to stop him, and all this stuff happens, and he has to climb up it, and yeah, all this crazy stuff happens, and it was really neat. And the way they described the setting, I could see it in my mind, you know, the wind blowing and the snow creating kind of like a no visibility, and they're just climbing up these mountains, and I don't know. So for fantasy stuff, that's one that comes to mind for sure. There's another one where it's a Conan one. Conan, he's chasing some girl. He's chasing some beautiful girl, but she's just bait. And then I want to say there's these giants. He's luring him to these giants, and then he has to deal with the giants. That one. Those don't look like giants, do they? Yeah. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? Fornull, what's going on with video games being made by AI? Asked JK160. Well, to be honest, I haven't dug into it too much. I've used AI in coding, to help write code. Here's the thing about AI. It has a small, what we'd call a small memory, a context memory. It can't hold a lot of information in its memory that it's using to do stuff. And so, as having been a professional game developer, architecting the engine, everything before, so I know how to do it from scratch. I could do it zeros and ones if I had to. And there is so much knowledge you have to have juggling around in your head just to come up with a plan. That's why we have, in software development, software engineering, which a lot of people like to call themselves a software engineer. They're not. It's just a fancy name. You have to have been doing it for decades and know all the ins and outs, all the things that go wrong over the lifetime of the software, everything, to be a good engineer. And it is a lot of information. It is a huge quantity of information. And the AI can't do that. The AI can't even do that enough to make a simple game. It can make what looks like a game, and you can use it to make pieces of a game. So let's say you're using it to make textures, for a model, or you're even using it to create a 3D model. You can use AI for that. It won't be perfect. The geometry is not going to be great. You're going to have to... A real optimized 3D geometry is something a human makes. But it might be okay. There's tools to help optimize stuff, so it might be okay. And it can write code to do stuff, but the bigger your game gets, the more moving parts. Okay, think of it like an engine in a car. A complicated engine, like for a high-end car or something. Every piece is somehow affecting another down the chain somewhere. This piece way over here, you may just go, oh, this isn't important. No, this is doing this thing so that the airflow can be right when it enters this chamber, and then that's going to make this other thing happen that makes this, perform at optimal efficiency or whatever. It's that kind of stuff that AI it can't do it. It can't hold all that and piece it together. So it really has a very small mind. If you were to think of it in terms of a brain, it's very small and very limited. So AI games, like I said, you can use it as a tool. If you can engineer a decent prompt, you can sort of set it up. When you're designing software, I won't go too much longer, but when you're designing software or any engineering project, you want to follow a principle of many principles, but one of them is called the separation of concerns. So my example before, where there was like a long chain of events that led to some other thing. Well, when you're engineering, you really want to minimize that as much as possible. Now, sometimes you can't. sometimes an optimized engine, everything's just so coupled. That's how you got it to that level of optimization. It's not practical. It's not practical for a mass-produced car. You want a mass-produced car, you don't want those kinds of tightly coupled designs. You want parts that can be swapped out easily in general, or it used to be. I don't know anymore. You open the hood, it's like, I don't know, it's like this big plastic thing covering everything up. But anyways, separation of concerns is you're saying this piece right here, it doesn't have to know about this. This is just playing the sound. It doesn't have to know about what the graphics are doing. It doesn't have to know anything. It's getting some clock feed to keep it in sync. All it has to know is it has to follow that clock. The rest of the game, the controllers, everything else, it doesn't care about. And that's the separation of concerns. And if you can engineer your machines to follow that principle, well, then you should be able to give the AI that information. You can say, hey, in this little realm that I'm wanting you to solve for me, here's the different pieces of it, and write code to do this very specific thing. And that's how you can use it. You can't just say, I want Skyrim, but in the future, go. It's just not gonna happen. So I think it's just a big, it's a big clickbait, in my opinion. Yawn. Cool, Papa J Magic. I know. That's probably just way super boring for everyone to listen to. Well, that's the best answer I can give, though. Well, I mean, Conan shouldn't even be there in the first place. What was he doing in that situation? Well, cool. Thanks, JK160. Right now, I've used all the different AIs. I use them every day. And like I said, I know their limitations in many different capacities, not just programming, but various other things I've tried to use it for. And yeah, I am impressed, and they are a good tool for breaking off a little thing and doing that for you, but we're not there yet. They're nothing like a human, not even close. Conan was there to kick ass, says Evil Author. That's right. What other reason does he need to be there? He came, he saw, he kicked ass. Fornull, have you ever used AI for mixing music that has already been recorded? If so, how well does it work? No, I have not. I have not. Because to me, as much as I appreciate all the cool AI music that people in our community have made, and that helps promote the concepts and all that, and I do appreciate it. I personally, I can get over my personal feelings to support it for the greater good, but I hate it personally. It's soulless. It's just taking it's taking the most generic aspects of music and just basically stitching it together. And I really don't like it at all. And making music is like making love. It's like, I want to do it. I don't want to watch someone else doing it or have a machine do it for me. Making music is so much fun and so gratifying, and there's so much creativity in just mixing it and producing it and getting it all together that I don't want to not do that. I want to do that, and I might use AI. I haven't used it to make any music, to be honest, but I'll use it sometimes like a voice synthesizer to make it say stuff for voiceovers. But yeah, I just don't like it. To me, AI art is as cool as it is, and music. It's a plagiarism obfuscation machine, because it's not making that from scratch. It's taking a neural network, a model, a weighted model of other people's work, and then it's mixing that stuff. And then the same with the mixing. I mean, maybe it could even do better than me. I don't know, but I don't care, because that's my art. I love doing it. So that's my thoughts on that. But again, let me stress that no shade on anyone using it. I know that sounded very harsh against it, and that's just my personal feelings. But I see, if it's going to help us reach more people or whatever, then whatever. I'm down for it. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like the principle. I don't like that it is plagiarism, and that the years and years and the deep creativity and all that it takes to really make decent music and all that, that's just thrown out the window. You might as well just take a big crap on it, because you can just give it a prompt and some lyrics and then tell it no more of this and that, and that's nothing like how you make music in real life from scratch. So on one hand, I guess I'm going in circles, but to wrap it up, yeah, on one hand I hate it, and on the other hand it's like, well, whatever, I'll get over it. If it's gonna help our people somehow, I'll get over it and I'll support it publicly. Well, Cool Papa J Magic, the journey of learning how to mix better is so fun. It's so enlightening. As you're getting better, you're understanding concepts behind sound engineering and all this, and it's very rewarding. So I know not everyone wants to make the time to do that, because it takes a lot of time, and just where do you start? But I'd say if you ever do want to get better, yes, it's fun trial and error in it. I mean, I've done that most of my life, just trial and error, teach myself. But just do yourself a favor and find a good source of information and learn from the pros. And you will accelerate your learning very quickly. I'll tell you one of the biggest things that changed for me, my mixing. My mixing went from no headroom to finally sounding, almost professional. And that was when I learned about gain staging. And gain staging, essentially, instead of me trying to make all my faders, all the channels, be peaking at 0, I made them peak at negative 12 dB. And it's just insane how something that simple changed so much. Because I was always taught, oh yeah, you want all your levels at 0 or whatever. That was wrong. And even though I knew, negative 10 or whatever, I didn't follow it religiously. But then I said, okay, all of a sudden something clicked in my head, and it's like, all right, I'm just gonna mix everything lower. And then when I need volume at the end, in that stage, I will add more gain. And then I have all this headroom. And it just, it changed a lot for me. And of course, you have to know how to use compression. You have to know how to use EQ, reverb. Reverb's gonna give you spatial, help you. Panning doesn't do everything. You want to mix panning with reverb to get your sound positioned in 3D space. You want your sounds panned out. Another big thing people fall into is they're afraid, they just got everything in the center, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put something way over here on the left and something else on the right, and you build out that width to your stereo sound field, and it really helps make the music sound bigger. And then EQ. Just knowing how to EQ stuff, rolling off the highs on things you don't need highs, because they're all going to be competing. All your tracks are going to be competing with each other, and you can think of like a comb. You have a comb, and it's got the whatever you call those, the comb teeth on them, and each one of those, from the left side to the right, those represent a space in the sound. And something that's low end bass and stuff, well, it doesn't need the high end, the right side of the comb, so you can turn those down. But then the things that are more high end sounds, high frequency sounds, drop the bass out. Whatever you don't need from that, drop it out. And now that frees up all that space for other sounds. And that's what makes a mix sound muddy, is when you're competing between all those different frequencies. And then finally the compressor. You don't want to overuse that, because you want dynamics in your music. You want your music to swell and get louder, and then calm down or whatever. You want, because your dynamics are going to give it more expression, so you want that. But there's some things you need to regulate it. You want a big fat bass, and the bass doesn't have to get too loud or too quiet, more than just in the middle. So just compress that thing, and you can control some of the EQ with the compressor too, actually. Got too much subs, or too much rumble in your bass, so sometimes the compressor can help with that. A lot of times it can. Alright, that's it. Samuski wrote, your recordings are crisp, clear, and punchy, and everything balances very well. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Samuski. I'm always trying to get better at it. No White Guilt wrote, that is a real man talking there, setting aside personal feelings for the greater good. All Promethean hails to the great Fornull. Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Well, as you know, too, that's not easy to do. That is not easy to do, but you gotta be a team player. White well-being is a team sport. I made that up. No, I'm just kidding. Because Jason was giving, what's-his-face, that Nat Sock guy, Joel, ripping him a new one, and rightly so, because that guy has been a total jackass to us. So, rightly so. But yeah. White well-being is a team sport, because he was saying politics is a team sport, essentially. Well, no, I think that he actually said that verbatim. Okay, cool Papa J. I hope it helps. Try some of that stuff out. Try it out. Well, your ear, that's something you gotta work on, your ear training. You gotta train your ears. And it's much like a visual artist will do. You know, when you're first starting visual art, I was just talking about this tonight with Mrs. Fornull, but a lot of times you're drawing things, you're drawing the symbol of it. You're not drawing the shades and highlights you're not rendering it. You're thinking of an eye, and you know the symbol of an eye, and you're drawing that, and instead of rendering. And it's similar with sound engineering. You have to learn how to hear these things, and you get good at it. It just takes a little practice, but you can get really good at it, where you know what you need. You hear it and you go, nope, this got too much 250 hertz. I need to drop that out. At 60 hertz, it's getting too loud, too quiet, so I need to compress that. My highs, I got high mids, but no upper highs, and it doesn't have enough of that air sound. So you get good at knowing what it needs and what it has too much of. Sticky Finger Aussie. Is that Joel? We all love to see new ones being ripped. Yes. Yes. Has Joel ever been on your stream before? You've probably been on with him on PWR, huh, Jason? Or no? Is he relatively recent? Well, no, because, I mean, he's on the ADL site and stuff, so been around at least for a while. Ooh, the twin reverb. Cool Papa J's talking about twin reverb. Those are great. Yeah, Audacity's pretty good. I like Reason, Propellerhead Reason myself, but I've used Ableton Live, I've used Reaper, I've used Audacity, I've used Cakewalk, Fruity Loops, bunch of different ones. I like Reason because it's a rack. So it's all, you got cables. And you can wire up just really interesting stuff just by patching this cable to that and this to there. And so I really like that aspect of it. I have fun playing with it. Yeah, on PWR once, Jason wrote. Okay, yeah. I can hear like Stevie Wonder sees. I think he's just pretending he's blind. Just for the sympathy. No, I'm just playing. Oh, I'm sure you could get it if that was your focus. Your mind is in a whole different, focused on totally different things, and we're happy it has been. Yeah, Cakewalk Samuski, that was good back in the day. I haven't used it in at least 10 years, so I don't even know what it's like now. Reaper is a decent. It's free, and if you want to pay for it, I think it's only $30. Unlike most major digital audio workstations, they're hundreds and hundreds of dollars, 500, 1,000, whatever, and that's just your software. Then you have to have a really good low latency audio device if you want to use it for high-end recording, where you can hear what's going on with the effects and everything as you're recording it, and there's no delay. Stuff can get really expensive. Joel was distant toward me when he was on PWR with me. Okay, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. Someone posted a link last week, I think it was, to a PWR with Warren was on it. Warren Balog. I don't know why. Normally I don't even want to take the time to listen, but I listened for a while just to see, okay, what are these cats getting up to now? What are they saying? Have they moved? Have they progressed at all in their theories, or where are they at? And yeah, it wasn't quite as bad as the last time I listened to Warren. Warren, had, when NJP was still around, and he was on Murdoch, what's his name? White Rabbit guy. On his, and on PWR, and a few others, and of course he was just, in his words, an orthodox Hitlerist, and it just seemed to be that's all he wanted to talk about. But this time around, he was basically kind of disavowing that in many ways, saying, well, so many people think I'm just Hitler this and Hitler that, and but these are my nuanced views, and so maybe he's growing out of it. Who knows? Tim, thanks. So Budgie Burger has a Vox AC-15. Oh, that's nice. Oh, British Racing Green. Yeah, those are sweet. I love the Vox sound. Yeah, my old guitarist had a Vox, the one with the 2 speakers, and it was pretty loud. It had like a metal bar on it. I can't remember what the model was. AC 30 or AC 6. I don't know. Is there an AC 60? It was loud. I think it was an AC 100. But boy, did it have a really nice sound. It had a really nice sound, and he would play... No, I think it was a smaller one. I think it was an AC 30. It wasn't 100. And he would play a big muff. Play his guitar through a big muff and the Vox, and it was just like cream. It was just... it sounded so good. Because Vox, it has that sound. It just... It really does something nice to the guitar tone. I love my little amp. I've got a... I've got this Mesa Boogie Mark V 25. Little 25 watt. Boy, let me tell you, 25 watts. But that thing, I can plug that into my Marshall cabinet. So I have, an old Marshall cabinet from the 90s with the 412s, the bottom cabinet, the square one, not the slant one. And I can plug this thing into that, and oh my god, it is powerful and loud. And the Boogie just has a lot of good tones. Fornull, what guitars do you mostly use? Mine is a Fender Coronado. I love Fender and Epiphone. Yeah, I play a lot of Fender. I have I have 3 guitars out right now that I kind of rotate. I have a Taylor acoustic guitar, and it's not thousands of dollars. It was I think it was like close to $1,000. But it's a nice acoustic. I really love it. I mean, it's a bet. Before that, I had a $150 acoustic guitar that I had since the 80s. So this is like a huge upgrade for me. And then I have a Fender Telecaster that I put together myself. So I would wait for parts to go on sale, like a neck or whatever, and decent components. And then I'd buy it, and just over time I put it together. But pickups, not Fender. I bought some hand wired from Kent, UK, a pickup place that I like. They hand make them, and so I bought their kit for the Telecaster, and man, I love that thing. It has taken me so long to get it dialed in, set up right, string height and intonation and neck and all that. But right now I've got it dialed in. It sounds good. And then I have a Fender Stratocaster. I love it's made in California, 75th anniversary one. It's what do they call it? It's like a tobacco burst or something like that. And I love that guitar, although there's one fret now. It's making this weird noise. So I have to figure out what that is. So those are the guitars I play. My Jackson, I love my Jackson so much. I mean, that thing it practically plays itself. It's so amazing. But it needs some work. The frets need work. And I'm just afraid, because those things new were $3,000. I got it used several years ago, like probably 15 years ago, something like that. But I'm afraid to take it somewhere. I don't want to lose it, and so don't mess with it. All right, what else? Let's see. My old band. What was What old band could I tell you about and not give away too much? I just don't want the anti-white haters trying to make my life miserable. I honestly don't know who it would have been. Cool Pop has an American-made Strat. Strat haters exist, but you can't beat the sound. No way, I love Strats. Strats are so versatile. You can just do so much with the Strat. Come on, Yngwie Malmsteen played a Strat. Little 25 watt. Little 25 watt. Well, yeah, little compared to my crank 100 watt, you know, my Dimebag Daryl Crankenstein Plus, or my other amps I have or have used. My Orange, which I don't have an Orange anymore. You know, one of my favorite heads is an Alesis 100 watt stereo amplifier from the 90s, or maybe it's from the 80s even. No, I think I got it in the 90s. Super clean sound. And the Marshalls from the 90s, you can run them in stereo. So it's a good pedal platform. Do I have a favorite pedal? Well, I mean, I love all the distortion pedals. Of course, a big muff. Big muffs are just so awesome, especially through a big amp. You know, when you got 4 12s or even 8 12s. You know, you're in a club or something and you got that big full big muff. And you're drop detuned and you're just playing some sludgy, cool, heavy thing. I mean, that is just, love that feeling. Yeah, so I love big muffs. I don't use pedals too much. I use a compressor. I use a MXR red box. The red compressor. I have a cheap Donnelly, a little mini noise gate. It's a green thing. Gotta have the noise gate. I think I have a carbon copy MXR delay. I like the carbon copy because you can do some cool stuff with it. Put modulation on your delay and things like that. I have an electric Mistress. I like those. It's a combination. The Electric Mistress is a combo chorus flanger. Like both. And you can do cool, weird shit with it. Stuff with it, sorry. Let's see, what else do I like? I love the Univibe. For clean stuff. Clean, kind of bluesy stuff. The Univibe is really cool. I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. But those are like my main pedals I use. Do you like Fallout? I'm way behind on chat. Do you like Fallout game world or any post-apocalyptic fantasy? Writes I asks. Yeah, I love it. Hell yeah. I played all the Fallouts from the first one to the last one. I didn't play the online. That just looked like crap. And I didn't like the last one very much. It's okay. I don't like the 50s aesthetic a whole lot. I like post-apocalypse that's more gritty and a little bit further along. Like the 80s stuff. Escape from New York and things like that. Samuski had a Mexican-made, still very good Fender Jaguar with offset contour body, 2 double humbuckers, and thick frets. It was a badass guitar. Oh yeah, cool, Samuski. I have my dad's Fender Jaguar, and I kind of messed it up. My dad was a professional musician. That's how he made a living for many years. And his main guitar was a Fender Jaguar 60 something, and he gave it to me, and it was all messed up. It was not taken care of over the years. It was in an attic, that would get 120 degrees up there or whatever, and year after year, and so it had a bunch of issues. I redid the electronics. The paint was all coming off of it. He had it custom painted like in Tijuana or something, with pinstriping and all that. It was neat. I don't know if you guys know this style. It's called Antigua. You know what Antigua looks like? Antigua? Let me see. I'll get a picture of it. Hold on. This is what Antigua looks like. So when you see this look, that's called Antigua. Anyways, and it had pinstriping. That's a Strat right there, but it was like this sort of, but not when I was restoring it. It was a total mess. So I tried getting the paint off a bunch of ways. I couldn't. So I stripped it, I sanded it down, and then rebuilt it all back up with Fender parts. But, I don't know, I might have taken off a little too much material. They're kind of thin to begin with, but it just... And then when I sealed it, I should have just went with the tongue oil, because I was just gonna leave it natural wood, so just polish it down, to 6,000 grit or whatever, just get that beautiful finish, and then just tongue oil it a bunch. I should have done that. I didn't. I used a varnish, and yeah, it kind of messed up. Oh well. You make Big Muff sound like porn. It's porn for my ears. But porn isn't good for you, so it's steak for my ears. It's a ribeye. It's a 200-pound ribeye that I can just lay on it. Just lay on it and gnaw on it. I don't play music, so Big Muff has a different meaning. Well, it does for us too, but yes, it's a funny name. Keep losing my stream of thought. Yes, I can just envision a Big Muff. Very 70s. Very 70s at the beach. And the Big Muff is peeking out of the bikini bottoms. Anyways, keeping it family friendly here. Electric Mistress, yep. That's what the Electro Harmonics had all kinds of weird names for their effects. Playing bass is super fun, Cool Papa J. I think it's great fun. I love playing bass, and there's a lot you can do. You explore musically and rhythmically, and just the sound of a bass is it feels so good, when you got it amplified and the sounds it makes. I love the bass. Yeah, guys that were younger wouldn't know, that's for sure. No naturals. No naturals out there in the wild anymore. Unless they're hairy armpit, purple-haired freaks. But, yeah. That is true. Suffice to say, we were on a hole. Is that how you say it? Oh, wait. On average? No. We were just, what I'm trying to say is we were a lot hairier. Embrace your hairiness. Unless you're a female and you got a mustache and hairy legs, then embrace it with the razor. But other than that, embrace it. Flea, yeah. Flea is a cool bass player. So was the guy from Primus. He's a really good bass player. On a Hole. W-H-O-L-E, not H-O-L-E. You know, sometimes, well, it probably doesn't happen to Jason, he is the wordsmith, but sometimes I want to say something and maybe I haven't used the phrase in many years or something. I start trying to say it and then I'm thinking, that sounds wrong. Wait, what is that? That can't be right. Oh well, I'll say it a different way. It's like Porky Pig. He'll stutter trying to say that something and then he'll stop and just say it a different way. And the different way is usually kind of funny that he settled for it that way. Primary, yeah, isn't that on 17 Seconds? Not that I know anything about The Cure. Embarrassed to admit. I was a huge Cure fan at one point. But just the old stuff. I lost interest. I think Disintegration was the last one I bought. It happens to you too. Okay, well, then I don't feel so bad. Ivan does like it when the female girls have lengthy feelers growing out of their noggins. Interesting. Feelers. Well, you guys, here's another night where I said, well, we're probably just going to listen to music, and then I just blabbed the whole time. But that's okay. That's what you're paying me for. So it was fun hanging out with you guys. I'm glad I made it home in time and we got to hang out. We made it through Monday, so the whole rest of the week smooth sailing or something like that. And thank you all for hanging out with me. Alright, cool. Faith. Yeah, Faith was great. Faith was a good album. I just don't like Robert Smith now. He's just so weird. He's a weirdo. Like, he's too old to be, and fat to be wearing makeup like that. Why can't he just be a normal man? Well, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Thank you, Samuski. Thank you all you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you probably Wednesday. And then Sunday. And then Monday again. So, take care, everyone. Have a good night. Goodbye. Dragonsynth, oh adventures, well we're flying through the air on a synthesizer, baby. Dragonsynth, oh adventures, well the music sounds so beautiful and I love it all so much. Dragonsynth Adventures.